Alright guys, so here it is, the most comprehensive guide from start to finish, from booking your Turo car to dropping it off at the end of the rental. I'm going to cover every piece of it with you right here. So stay tuned and let's get into it. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another video. So today we're going to go through start to finish, as I mentioned, booking a car on Turo. We will go through the entire process of actually booking, and then we will cover the pickup instructions and getting the car and then dropping it off at the end of the rental. So we're actually getting ready to do a trip to Michigan here at the end of April. At the time that I am recording this, it is middle of April. So I'm just going to show you a little bit of that process and just kind of show you some of the stuff that I look for when it comes to booking a car. Okay, so we are here on my laptop. We are on the main page of Turo's website, and we are going to search for a range of dates. So I'm going to type in the letters for Detroit Metro Airport, and it will come up for me. And I go ahead and select the range of dates that I want to book. And then once I've selected the dates that I want to book, then I am going to go through and look through all of the different cars that are available. So there is a list of different vehicles here. So this looks like a very big selection of different things. So there are a couple of things to call out here. So if you look at this one here, it mentions that the host is an all-star host. This one mentions it does not. And then same here. There are a couple of other things on the top left-hand side to look out for. For instance, free delivery is one of them. App unlock means that it is on Turo Go. So there are many different things to look out for. So when I look at the filters, there are a couple different things up here as well. You can book instantly, which means that you do not have to wait for the host to accept the trip. You can request for a car, and it would be the host's discretion to accept the trip. So if you select book instantly, then you do not have to wait for the host to accept the trip. You can also click on more filters here, and you can select distance included. You can select whether you want an all-star host, if you want Turo Go. So I'm going to select just all-star hosts, and it's going to filter only the all-star hosts. Okay, so I've decided to look at this particular car. It is a 2015 Mercedes-Benz C-Class, and I can look at the different photos based on the description here, and they all look really, really nice. It's a nice looking car, and I'm going to do a little bit more research as well, and I'm going to scroll down here and look at the ratings. So this particular car is rated at 4.94 stars, which means the car itself at one point in the trip was rated less than 5 stars. It may be multiple. This car has been on 119 trips, so it has a proven track record. And I'm looking at the hosts themselves as well. They have 480 trips at an overall rating of 5 stars, so pretty good overall rating for this particular host. You can also read the description. Description will tell you a lot of information. It tells you about airport travelers, and it says I will provide clear instructions for you in advance. So we're looking at stuff like that as well. The other thing that we might want to look at is whether delivery is something that is going to be included or not, if there is a price associated with the delivery. And we're also looking at some of the renter's ratings. So I can click on see more, and I can scroll through some more of these ratings and see what some of the people have said. As I mentioned before in a previous video, you definitely want to look through some of these ratings and see, even though it is rated 5 stars, sometimes people will write something that is not necessarily reflective of a 5-star rating. So sometimes you do want to look at those and see what they say. Now here is a 3-star rating right here on this particular car. And it says the tire caught a flat, so my reservation was cut short. That happens. If you're a renter and you take the vehicle and you get a flat, that flat tire is actually your responsibility to take care of. If it wasn't something that, the tire pressure light was on the vehicle beforehand. So tires getting flat, that is something that can happen whether it is a rental or whether it's your personal car. So I take that rating with a grain of salt here. Now I want to give you an example of a car that may not be as reliable. You can see the first name of the host, but you're not going to be able to see what the type of vehicle was. But there's basically, some examples right here of a vehicle that's rated overall at 3.9 stars and not very good verbatim. So here's a simple example of a car that you should be looking for as far as, red flags. Don't be, booking a vehicle that's like this one. If you are looking for something that is a seamless experience, this is definitely not going to be one of those ones. So granted, there's only 10 ratings on this particular vehicle. This host is not an all-star host, but definitely be aware in situations like this. Okay, now that we looked at that one, let's go back to booking Steven's Mercedes. Okay, so I went ahead and selected the dates that I wanted here, and it's going to tell me what the overall price is for the car per day times how many days. There are trip fees that Turo can collect, and there is also a protection plan that you may have to pay. You can decide to decline the protection plan if you so choose. There is also sometimes an airport fee that is not under the control of the host if Turo has an agreement with that particular airport, and then there's also the delivery fee if you are willing to pay that. It also tells you here how many total miles you have and how much of a discount, if there is any, applicable. While you're on this page, you can also select extras. You can select if you need a child safety seat. It'll tell you more details. The host will write something on there that explains what type of extra that is, and who it accommodates if it's a child safety seat, as well as a cooler. And then, as I mentioned, with the trip protection plan, it tells you whether you would want to select the minimum, which is a $3,000 maximum out of pocket. A standard is a $500 maximum out of pocket. If you decline trip protection completely, then you are fully responsible for all of it. So if I was to click decline, that would take that off of my total, and it gives me how much. It also states right here, I'm liable for any damage to or theft of the car, which is worth more than $15,000. So it already gives me a forewarning if I decide to decline the protection plan. If I was okay with everything, then I go ahead and click on this checkbox, and then I'm going to go ahead and select book this trip. Now you can do this on your phone as well on the Turo app. It will look something like this, where it shows you the dates, it shows you information on the host, it allows you to contact the host, you can text them any trip photos that would be applicable, and any other pertinent information as far as the rental is concerned. Now, if I go to the messages, I will see that a message has been automatically sent to me. A lot of times our hosts do have automated messaging, myself included, and it explains to you all the information that you would need as far as what is going to be required in order to pick up the car. So it explains that we're going to be catching a 5-minute shuttle from the arrivals area that's going to take us directly to the car, and they're going to give us more details as we get closer to the rental itself. Being that this is a remote check-in, you also have to upload the 2 pictures for contactless, so it's going to be a photo of your driver's license and a selfie of yourself holding your driver's license. So at this point, we are pretty much done. We have the car booked, we are ready to go, we know what the expectations are, so let's wait for the day of the trip and we will see more about what is next. Alright, so it is the day of the trip, and we have been given all of the instructions that we need in order to get to the car. So the host has sent us a message, told us where we need to go once we arrive in Detroit, what shuttle we're looking for, and ultimately where the car is parked. So we have full expectations on what we need to do. The other thing that is important to note on this particular booking is that we do have to pay the parking fee in order to get the car out of the lot. That has already been disclosed to us when we first booked the car. That is required to be told to us beforehand. And so now we're going to hop on the plane, go head to Detroit, and we will touch base again once we get to the vehicle. All right, so we've made it to the car, and it was basically a really seamless process to drop something off the ground. That's what happens when you have children. We had the shuttle basically just drive us over here, and we are going to pay the parking to get the car out. So we had very detailed instructions on how to find the car, and it was very easy to get to. So we got here, did our check-in, took all of the photos that we needed to take that we can see. The host also takes photos themselves, so there are plenty that are already uploaded, but I just took a few extra just to have it uploaded. So we're gonna start our trip, and we will come back when it's time to park it. Okay, and here we are officially at the end of the trip, and I have the message on my Turo app right here that explains what we need to do in order to return the car. Very straightforward instructions. basically explains we're taking it to the same parking lot that we picked it up from, that we are to grab a ticket when we pull into the lot, follow the directions that the clerk tells us to do, we park it, and then take a picture of the parking slip and provide it to the host. These parking lots are very big, so it is very important that the host knows where the car is located, so that is a very easy request to fulfill and make the host's life much easier. The other expectation is if you don't prepay for refueling, then you do need to refuel the vehicle. So that has to be a part of my plans, is I have to make sure that the car is totally refueled and ready to go when we go to park it. And so that is pretty much it. That is the experience as far as booking the car, as far as picking it up, and then now we're getting ready to go and drop it off. So we will touch base again once we get back home. All right, and we have made it. We are officially back in Florida, and it was a great experience overall. So hopefully this explains kind of what you're looking for when you go on the Turo app, or even when you go to the website. We use Turo.com, but you can use the app as well to look for your car, and making sure to take note of some things that you're looking for when you are booking one of these vehicles. Sometimes it can seem overwhelming, so definitely keep some things in mind. I think one of the biggest things is if you want a seamless trip, maybe look at an all-star host to kind of begin that process. If you're looking for a newer host, you need a lot more patience. There may be some hiccups along the way because they are still learning. So there is nothing against using a non-all-star host. I was once one myself, but if you are looking for what the best experience on Turo should be, my suggestion would be to look for an all-star host. The other things to keep an eye out for is looking for things like free delivery, maybe Turo Go, because Turo Go is a really good process where you can basically book without having to do any sort of license verification with the host. It's relatively contactless, and you can unlock the car directly from the app. And the other part to think about too is mileage. Think about how many miles you're going to end up driving and take that into consideration when you are booking a car, because you do not want to go over on miles and end up having to pay additional. There are cars out there that have unlimited miles, so you do not have to worry about it. There are cars where you can purchase unlimited miles as an extra so that they cannot charge you for the amount of miles that you're driving. Now that is gonna do it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. And if you like this content, please give it a big thumbs up and consider subscribing. If you enjoy watching our business and watching these types of videos, let us know what you think by leaving a comment down below. And in the next video, we did go get another Turo car. So I can't wait to cover it all with you, and keep an eye out for that video next week. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you have a great day.